Oh my gosh. Rain, sleet, or snow. The Eagles are trained to go. Rain, sleet, or snow. The Eagles are trained to go. Now, if you was on that live stream, you know I was yelling and I'm about to lose my voice. But the Philadelphia Eagles booked their ticket to the NFC Championship game. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm on cloud nine. Get up, get out your seat, get your nana, get your pawpaw, grandma, auntie, uncle, daughter, son, your dog. Hell, if you got a bird, get that John up. It's time to pop it. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Fly, Eagles, fly. Score a touchdown, 1, 2, fight, fight, fight. Hit him low, hit him high. Watch the Eagles fly, fly. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Eagles, Eagles. This is an amazing day. It really is, man. Eagles beat the Rams 28-22. I ain't gonna lie, I lost some life. I lost some of my life. I'm 23 years old, and I lost some of my life watching this game. I would be lying to y'all if I wasn't scared that Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, hell, even Cooper Kupp would march down the field and score a touchdown. I would be lying if I didn't think to myself, am I seeing deja vu? Like that Seahawks game when he was up 6 points and Drew Lock scores. Whether it was Kirk Cousins up 6 points, he scores. Whether it was Jaden Daniels up 6 points and they score all game-winning touchdowns basically with no time left or like 10, 15 seconds left. Look, y'all, this Eagles defense won the game. They won the game. If you take away that safety from Jalen Hurts, we'll talk about that. If you take away that safety, this Eagles defense, without Quinyon Mitchell, without Nakobe Dean, played their ass off. Number one, this was Jalen Carter's best game as a pro. And he was talking that talk earlier in the game to Jared Verse, and he backed it up. And even though Jared Verse had himself a game, and man, oh man, he's going to be a superstar in this league. And he backed up all that talk, all that trash talk he was talking. Jalen Carter outplayed him. Look at Jalen Carter's stats. This guy had 5 tackles, 5 pressures, 3 quarterback hits, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, and 1 pass defended. That sack on the Rams' last drive won the Eagles the game. That's it there. If you try to block Jalen Carter one-on-one, he will win every single time. And I'm going to say this about Jalen Carter. I cannot believe the NFL allowed the Philadelphia Eagles to draft Jalen Carter number 9 overall. It makes no sense. Now, y'all told me that he had character issues, all this stuff. You're telling me that y'all allowed him to go to a first-class organization, surround him with vets, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Jason Kelsey, etc., back in 2022. And he has just shown, or might have been 2023, But he has just shown, I'm sorry, 2023. But he has just shown time and time again that he keeps getting better and better and better. And this Jalen Carter right here is a top 2, top 3 defensive tackle in the game. I mean, this game right here, he played like the best defensive tackle in the game. He was a game wrecker. What about Nolan Smith? Nolan Smith is just something else. And it's crazy that, like, all right, them Georgia Bulldogs, they got that championship heart because last week it was Nolan Smith with his best game ever as a pro. And then Jalen Carter followed that up with his best game as a pro. So you have two of your young players, two of your first round picks on the biggest stage with the brightest lights showing up and delivering. Nolan Smith, what did he have this game? He had a sack, a tackle for loss, solo tackle. I think when you talk about this Eagles defense, I would be remiss to talk about CJ Gardner-Johnson. That third down stop on Kyren Williams, that was big time. What about Josh Sweat? That third down stop on Kyren Williams, these are huge plays that they were early, but when you limit this Rams offense to field goals and not touchdowns, that's huge, especially when you have a kicker in Jake Elliott that he has made some good kicks in this game, but like, bruh, them extra points is like, come on, brother. Come on, we're going to talk about him. We'll talk about him. Darius Slay. I can't say enough about Darius freaking Slay. This was his best game all season. Best game all season. And when he needed to have his best game, Darius Slay answered the call. You're talking about Quinyon Mitchell is out, Isaiah Rodgers in, and I think Isaiah Rodgers did a pretty good job given the circumstances, given the quarterback he's up against, and given the wide receivers he's up against. But Darius Slay was a man on a mission from the start to the finish. He needs his flowers, and he might not be, smack dab in his prime Slay. But even this Slay, who isn't as good as he once was, is better than a whole bunch of defensive backs in this league. He is. Now we got to monitor Quinyon Mitchell, cross our fingers and hope that he can be back for this Commanders game. But Darius Slay really was clutch because this was a game. You had those games when like Darius Slay, he's in, he's out of the lineup, he's banged up here or there. He played the entire game and showed up, bro. So yes, this Eagles defense showed up. They flat out showed up. I'm not going to lie. Did the snow help the Eagles? Yes. And that's partly why I had the Eagles winning the game. Yes. Yes. So I was happy when the Eagles jumped out to that lead and it started snowing more and more and more. I was like, thank God, because the more it snows, the better that we are. The better that we are. Defensively, we're on one. I got to shout out two other guys. Oren Burks, I got to tip my cap. I don't got no cap. I got a little Scully John, but I'm going to just tip my cap, bro. You was on another level. That swatted pass, being a game wrecker, those tackle for loss. I mean, Oren Burks valiantly was a great substitute for Nakobe Dean. We wondered all freaking week, like, is it going to be Trotter? Is it going to be Oren Burks? Oren Burks did not have his best game against the Packers, and that's an understatement. And he showed up on the bright stage, on the big stage against a Hall of Fame quarterback in Matthew Stafford. He flat out showed up. So that's something right there. I mean, that guy can't say enough about him. So I think we have to give a bunch of credit to Howie Roseman and Vic Fangio for these moves in acquiring Zach Bond and drafting Jalen Carter, drafting Nolan Smith. And these guys showed up in acquiring CJ Garner-Johnson. But we also have to give them credit and also give the backups credit, whether it was Njomu or Burks. They showed up. Isaiah Rodgers, they showed up, bro. They showed up. What else are we talking about? Let's talk about this whole Jalen Hurts situation, bro. Let's talk about that. Then we're going to talk about Saquon, because Saquon was on another level. Saquon was on another level. What I don't understand is folks that make comments about Jalen Hurts' game and they don't watch the games. A.J. Brown did not have his best game by far. I think he would say that himself. Jalen Hurts drops a dime right in his breadbasket, and he doesn't make the catch. Now, it's not easy by any means, and the conditions are not favorable, but that's a catch that you expect A.J. Brown to make. And so when I see people say, well, Jalen Hurts, 120-something passing yards, and when he's getting carried, watch the game. He set the tone. A 44-yard touchdown to the crib. There was all this talk about Jalen Hurts being a tush-push, brotherly shove merchant. Well, guess what? He started off with a 44-yard run to the crib. And I'll give you that safety is on him because Dallas Goedert was wide open. I'll give you that. That's on him. But hey, if A.J. Brown makes that catch at the end of the first half, you're talking about a 10-point lead and a guy with 2 total touchdowns in the first half. And if he makes that catch, A.J. Brown, that's a over 100 pass rating possibly for Jalen Hurts. So watch the games. Jalen Hurts is still contributing to winning. He is. And just because the numbers are not gaudy, because all of y'all are box score merchants, how about this stat? The last time Jalen Hurts has had an interception in a playoff game was 2021, 4 years ago, against Tom Brady's Buccaneers, who won the Super Bowl. So I see a guy in Jared Goff, 3 picks. I see a guy in Justin Herbert, 4 picks. I see a guy in Sam Darnold, 1 pick. And I say, well, they're passing for all these yards. Oh, blah, blah, blah. They're turning over the ball. And so not turning over the ball and making smart decisions should be a bonus, a plus, and something that we look at and be like, hey, that is something that you are doing extremely well. Turnover-free football. That is the name of the game. A guy in Matthew Stafford fumbled the ball. That's an extra possession for the Philadelphia Eagles. So all I'm saying is you have to also factor in not turning over the ball as a stat that is for Jalen Hurts and is a stat that proves why he is contributing to winning. Now, I'm not going to be disingenuous, and I'm not going to say that at this certain point, like Jalen Hurts is doing enough or like is on the same level as Jaden Daniels in terms of like being that driving force of winning right now. But I believe if it comes a time that Hurts has to be that driving force, he will. But if Saquon Barkley can go for over 200 rushing yards at 8 yards a pop, and this defense is being dominant, I'm going to play into that. So we're going to talk about more about Jalen Hurts, but let's talk about Saquon Barkley real quick. I can't thank the New York Giants enough for this guy, Saquon Barkley. I mean, like when my mom got me and my sister Saquon Barkley jerseys for Christmas, I was like, I love you. I love you, Mom. I love you, Kemia Johnson. Shout out Kemia freaking Johnson. I love this jersey, bro. Kelly Green. That's what I bleed. I can't thank the New York Giants enough for Saquon Barkley. You're telling me that we get this guy for the foreseeable future? Hey, F Eric Dickerson's record. We're going for the chip, and we can actually get the all-time record for the regular season and the playoffs, which Terrell Davis has. I would much rather have that and a chip than just being the regular season record holder. So that's on me. I wanted Saquon to get that record, but Nick Serianni proved me wrong. This Eagles offensive line proved me wrong. Saquon Barkley showed, hey, when my name is called, I'm the one. I'm the one. I'm the one. Saquon Barkley was amazing. Let's talk about this. Kellen Moore, I still feel like at times is a product of just ultra talented superhumans. I mean, if Saquon Barkley and this offensive line led by Jeff Stoutland did not have a dominant game, the Eagles would have been in trouble. And the most egregious call from Kellen Moore was that bootleg. It's 2nd and 7. Why are you being cute with Saquon Barkley? Run the ball with Saquon Barkley. Stop being cute. Look, the Rams knew coming into the game, we need to stop Saquon Barkley. And what superstars do is they know you're trying to stop them, and they still do it anyway. That's what a superstar is. That's what Saquon Barkley is. That's what he is. And so in that time, in that moment, you don't do a bootleg with the quarterback that has a knee brace. What are we talking about? You give the ball to Saquon Barkley and said, you got us here. Take us to the finish line. Now, the defense bailed Kellen Moore out, but that was an egregious call right there. That was bad. I mean, if I'm the Saints or the Cowboys, I'm looking at that and be like, nah, I'm cool. The Jaguars, nah, I'm cool. I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. And look, my favorite scenario is that Kellen Moore and the Eagles, well, my favorite scenario is that the Eagles win the Super Bowl and then Kellen Moore becomes the Cowboys head coach, because we know Jerry Jones just wants a yes man. That's all he wants. That's all he wants. That's what that is there, bro. That's what that is there. Let's talk about this man, Nick Serianni. Nick Serianni is now 3-0 against Sean McVay in his career. He's 8-0 against Sean McVay, Dan Campbell, and Matt LaFleur. I heard a lot of talk about how Dan Campbell was miles better than Nick Serianni. That was the most laughable thing I ever heard in my life. I go off facts and not feelings. A guy in Dan Campbell has folded multiple times And we're about to see what he's made of without his amazing coordinators. That's what we're going to see. All that rah-rah stuff, all that blah, blah, blah stuff. We're about to see who he is. Nick Serianni, whether it's Shane Steichen or Kellen Moore or Jonathan Gannon or Vic Fangio, has gotten back to the NFC Championship and is favored to not only win the NFC, but I believe win the Super Bowl. Nick Serianni deserves some respect. He does. Because there was a lot of adversity that he went through. And I was on him. I was on his ass, bro. Because it was some stuff yelling at fans that I just did not like. But I'm going to always be fair to Nick Serianni. If he finishes this off and wins a Super Bowl, is the greatest coach in Eagles history. If he wins the bowl, I will make a formal apology to Nick Serianni because, as y'all know, I was very, very critical of him. And I will say, yo, you deserve my respect. I apologize. I'm not going to apologize yet because I still believe that the NFC chip is the standard for this ultra-talented roster. But if you win the bowl, I'm giving you that respect, bro. I'm giving you that respect. This Eagles offensive line was dominant. Lane Johnson, I was like, dang, bro. When Lane, that was my only thing. It was a couple of calls. I'll give the Rams defensive line some credit. But I ain't gonna lie, Lane Johnson was the last person I thought would have a false start on that tush push on that 1 yard line. I'm like, yo, don't beat ourselves. They can't stop the move. I'm sorry. Hurts can be on one leg. You're not stopping that move. Now, luckily, Jake Elliott kicked that, John, and we ended up winning the game. But we need the O-line to be better in those spots. And I think Lane Johnson, he's happy with the win. But he knows he should have been better there. He knows that. You talking about Hurts could have had too rushing. But last thing I'm going to talk about, bro, before we end off this, John, is like, I don't get like what y'all don't see in Jalen Hurts. Is he the prolific passer that Matthew Stafford is? No, he's not. But he makes winning plays. Not turning over the ball contributes to winning. Ask Jared Goff. He'll tell you if he did not turn over the ball, the Lions had a way better chance of winning that game if Jared Goff did not turn over the ball. Jalen Hurts had 70 yards rushing, 7 carries, a 44-yard touchdown. That's winning. Winning. Come on. And also trusting Saquon Barkley and giving him the ball. And we see him take the ball 70 yards to the crib. He is a generational talent. All I'm saying is, bro, keep it consistent, bro. Keep it consistent and stop moving the goalpost when it comes to Jalen freaking Hurts. I'm telling you, he's a gamer. He's a winner. And I'm not going to be disingenuous and say that he was the MVP, but he still contributed to winning. And if you take away that bad play, which it was bad, that safety, he played himself a damn good game. And if some of his receivers made those catches, I mean, his completion percentage would have been better. I mean, Hurts had an 80% completion percentage, 15 for 20. He had a higher QBR than Matthew Stafford. I'm just saying. 91 passer rating in the playoffs is pretty damn good. All I'm saying is, bro, was it his best game ever? No, but he made the necessary plays to win the game. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to record again tonight. And man, oh man, this whole entire week is going to be crazy. Jalen Hurts versus Jaden Daniels. Eagles versus Commanders. At the link. Lions folded. Eagles on top. Philly on top. I might very well go to that game. I'm about to see how my pocket's looking. If TikTok, can give me some of this cheese, we're gonna see. I'm playing, but I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. We're talking MJ. We are